There is something about retail and hospitality that it just brings out the wackiest things in people.
We've all had horrible bosses, and we've all probably had to deal with customers if we've worked in retail or hospitality.
Wherever you work, there's always customers that rub you up the wrong way.
The common wisdom is the customer is always right. Well, until Ryan Chandler came along and blew the lid off that idea.
I think this show really shines a light on how we treat people and how we treat each other, especially in a situation where someone is serving us.
I just hope Rostered On helps people, no matter what, where you work, helps the workplace feel better and helps the customers be nicer to them. If that happens, then I'm going to be wrapped. We've done our job.